Hi, my name is Femi and I'll be doing the AP question for our quideo chapters 9 through 11. So the question says, a large pet store buys the identical species of adult tropical fish from two different suppliers, Buy Right Pets and Fish Friends. Several of the managers at the pet store suspect that the lengths of the fish from Fish Friends are consistently greater than the lengths of the fish from Buy Right Pets. Random samples of 8 adult fish of the species from Buy Right Fish and 10 adult fish from the same species from Fish Friends were selected, and the lengths of the fish in inches were recorded as shown in the table below. So it gives us a lovely table with the 8 lengths from the Buy Right Pets and the 10 lengths from the Fish Friends. Gives us the mean and the standard deviation. The question asks, do the data provide convincing evidence that the mean length of the adult fish of the species from Fish Friends is greater than the mean length of the adult fish from the same species from Buy Right Pets? So, we set up our phantoms. P means parameter, H is hypothesis, assumptions, name of the test, observations, and the making the statement. So our parameter in this case is the length of fish at Buy Right Pets and Fish Friends. So we can set up our hypothesis. So I used the mean of B and mean of F. So the mean of B means the length of fish at Buy Right, and mean F means the length of fish at Fish Friends. So my null hypothesis was that the mean of fish at Buy Right is equal to the mean of fish from Fish Friends. What does that mean? This means that the length of the two are equal, that there is no difference. My alternative hypothesis, however, states that the mean of fish at Buy Right is less than the mean of the fish, the mean length of the fish at Fish Friends. So we move on to our assumptions. In the question it says that they were randomly selected, so that's an SRS. And in total there's 18 fish, so 10 times 18 is 180, and I'm pretty sure there's more than 180 180 of those fish of that species. But however, the number is not greater than 30, so we have to proceed with caution. So in this problem we're doing a 2-sample t-test. Why we're doing t-test? Because we're dealing with a sample size. It's not of population. So we move on to our test. So our t-value equals x bar our mean of the first sample minus the mean of the second over square root of the standard deviation squared over the number plus the standard deviation squared of the second sample number. So the first type is the first sample over the number is from the first sample is from x1, and the second one is from s2, which is from x2, as you can see up here. You can switch these around, they don't matter. You can switch all of these around, it just doesn't matter. But you'll get the same answer. But we'll just continue on with this, where x1 is our mean length from Buy Right, and x2 is our mean length from Fish Friends. So when we plug in the numbers, our x bar value for the first sample is 3.4 minus 3.46, which is the mean length from Fish Friends. All over the standard deviation, which it gives us on the table by the way, is 0.434 squared over 8 because there's 8 fish, plus 0.550 squared over 10 because there's 10 fish at Fish Friends. So after we solve these, after we plug it into our calculator, we narrow it down to negative 0.2587. But you might ask, well, it's a negative number and there's no negative numbers on the T chart in my book. Well, it doesn't matter. If you flip these around, you would get a positive number. So all you have to do is switch that number to a positive. So it's going to be 0.2587. So to look in our T chart, first we need the degrees of freedom. So we look at the sample size with the least amount of sample, I guess. And that's going to be 8. 8 minus 1 gives us 7, which is our degrees of freedom. And we need an alpha value as well, so I pick 0.05. as you can see here. So, when I look in my book, 0.2587 is not on the table. Again, what do? We look at where it's closest to. So, it was off from the left side, which would mean that the significance level is going to be greater than whatever value is on the left. So, our very left probability was 0.25. And if it's farther away from that, that would mean that our probability is greater than 0.25. So, we conclude this question by saying that we fail to reject the null hypothesis because our p-value, which is greater than 0.25, and you can obtain this exact number by plugging it into your calculator, but for practical use, I'm just looking at the table on the back of the book. So p is greater than 0.25, which is the right answer. Anyways, our p-value, which is greater than 0.25, is greater than the alpha value, 0.05. There isn't enough convincing data to prove that Fish Friend sells longer fish compared to buy right pets. Thank you very much.